puzzles represent autism because the disorder is still so mysterious to us. Plus, each piece of the puzzle is different. And as a spectrum disorder, no two people with autism are the same. The rainbow colors represent hope because it is proven that with early intervention, people can lead fruitful lives with their diagnosis.
What is that?
Monkey.
Meet JC. You wouldn't know it just by looking at this sweet 4-year-old girl, but JC is one of the millions of children with autism. Research estimates that 1 in every 88 children in the U.S. will be diagnosed with autism. That used to be 1 in 100 just a few years ago.
It's primarily a social communication disability characterized by a lack of natural learning, those social communication skills.
Some signs of autism include delays in communication and social development delays. Some children with autism may be nonverbal. Some do not like physical contact or social communication like eye contact. But autism is truly a spectrum disorder.
Every child that we diagnose as having an autism spectrum disorder is different.
JC is in the middle of the spectrum, but there are cases with severe manifestations of the disorder with major developmental delays all the way to minor symptoms. Clinicians often say parents just know.
Just before she turned 2 years old, we decided, okay, this isn't completely typical.
People that are trained in this evaluation can tell the difference between a child who is just generally shy to a child that meets the diagnostic criteria.
The national gold standard used to diagnose autism is a play-based assessment called Autism Diagnostic Observation Schedule.
The earlier you intervene, the better the success is.
Treating children with autism is difficult due to communication barriers and because, according to Theory of Mind, children with autism lack the ability of reciprocal communication. That is, they think and understand things differently than the average person.
Understanding that other people perceive things differently than they do, or other people have different interests than they do.
The only proven successful treatment is applied behavior analysis.
Reinforce appropriate behaviors, and you're going to give the child multiple trials to learn a behavior and practice it over and over again.
Join us tomorrow night on ABC5 as we take a look at autism in a family. We'll explore JC's story and how her parents and siblings deal with her diagnosis on a daily basis. Live in the studio, Rachel Osley, ABC5. It's hard to imagine being the mother of 5, but add a diagnosis of autism in the mix and a daily to-do list can easily triple. The Brooks seem like your average American family on the outside, and while they have a lot more to deal with, they've simply learned to adapt.
I'm living in the here and now day to day with JC, and JC is my autism.
Where's the trail? There it is! Yay!
JC was a different baby from day one. When her development was behind schedule, her parents thought she was a late bloomer. But by the age of 2, they knew something wasn't right.
It's definitely heart-wrenching because you think, oh, maybe it's something else that she'll outgrow. And then they say autism, and it's just like, huh. This is lifelong.
It took some time for denial to wash away and a new reality to settle in.
All right, well, I've had my pity party. Now, what do we need to do for JC?
A diagnosis of autism means life as they knew it changes forever, and it's time to adapt.
I thought I had parenting down when I had my first 2 kids, and then I had JC.
Seemingly simple communication is one of the biggest challenges.
Can you imagine going and living in France or some other country where nobody understands a word you're saying and you don't understand them?
The usual logical thinking approach to parenting just doesn't work with a child like JC.
She sees the here and now, and she doesn't necessarily understand what she did was wrong.
No, JC, who does it belong to?
I just try to make sure that I have eyes on JC.
Caring for a child with autism is difficult on parents, and it's not easy for siblings either.
Do you definitely love your sister?
Can. Sometimes it's hard to. She makes me frustrated. I tell her no, but she doesn't stop.
So JC's siblings learned to adjust.
When she gets in my bedroom and I don't want her in, I close the door and lock it. My toolbox I lock all the stuff that I don't want JC to get into it.
Early on, they learned they can't come first all the time.
Sometimes she gets most attention. I don't need all of the attention. She only gets one adult's attention. I can talk to the other adult.
We take individual kids on little dates with mom or dad.
Even with the added stress,
You know, it's, have you locked the door? You walked in, locked the door.
they are still a family.
Bailey's a big mom to her. She's very sweet and loving.
I do love my sister. I have to tell her no because she doesn't understand that much. She's not that old and she has autism, so she can't understand as much.
When they're sleeping and you go and see them, it completely washes away anything that had happened that day.
JC is doing better than they ever thought possible. She is about 200 words now and will be starting kindergarten in a regular education classroom in the fall. The goal is that JC will be able to one day be an independent, contributing member of society. And with the path she's on at just 4 years old, she's on her way. Live in the studio, Rachel Osley, ABC 5.